Hello, my name is David Kerr and you are watching Shalom World News. Here's your latest news headlines from around the globe. The Vatican has announced that they will release its long-awaited report into the disgraced former US Cardinal Theodore McCarrick next Tuesday. The report was commissioned by Pope Francis in October 2018 following a slew of credible allegations that the 90-year-old former cleric abused children early on in his priestly career and then abused seminarians while a bishop. The pending Vatican report is thought to focus on why McCarrick was able to rise through the clerical ranks seemingly unimpeded over many decades. Theodore McCarrick served as Archbishop of New York from 1986 to 2000. In 2001, he was appointed Archbishop of Washington, DC, and was also elevated to the Sacred College of Cardinals. He retired in 2006. In 2019, he was dismissed from the clerical state by Pope Francis. Meanwhile, the Pope is to strip the Vatican's Secretariat of State of responsibility for its investment funds and real estate holdings. That responsibility will now be transferred to the body which functions as the Holy See's Treasury, known as the Administration of the Patrimony of the Apostolic See, or APSA for short. The move follows criticism of the Secretariat of State for investing in a controversial property development deal in London, which has seen significant losses for the Holy See, coupled to exorbitant management fees. In a letter addressed to Cardinal Pietro Parolin, the Vatican's Secretary of State, Pope Francis requests that the Vatican divest itself of the London property portfolio, quote, as soon as possible, in order to avoid further reputational risk. The letter to Cardinal Parolin, published this week but sent in August, gave the Secretary of State 3 months to ensure the transfer of responsibility to APSA. With that deadline now missed, Pope Francis has now set up a 3-person commission to ensure the required changes occur within the next 3 months. A 90-year-old cardinal from Cameroon has been released from captivity after being taken hostage for 24 hours by separatist fighters in the northwest of the African country. Local sources suggest that Cardinal Christian Tumi was abducted on Thursday evening after the convoy he was travelling in was stopped at a roadblock manned by rebel fighters. The cardinal was then taken to an unknown location where he was interrogated before being released later the next day. He is thought to be unharmed. Cardinal Tumi has been vocal in calling for dialogue and peace amid a 4-year-long conflict in the northwest and southwest regions of the predominantly francophone country, where English-speaking armed separatists known as Amba Boys are attempting to establish an independent state known as Ambazonia. The charitable wing of the Bishops' Conference of the Philippines has issued an appeal for global assistance after one of the strongest landfalling tropical cyclones on record hit the Asian country last Saturday. Super Typhoon Raleigh, which struck the Philippines on October the 31st, has left 25 people dead and a trail of destruction in its wake. Now CARITAS Philippines are asking for aid to provide food, water and emergency shelter to those in the worst hit areas. The National Director of CARITAS Philippines, Bishop Jose Colin Bagaforo, says he is praying for the global community to respond with, quote, sincere acts of kindness, generosity and compassion. A Catholic church in the US state of Oregon has been vandalised by politically motivated rioters. The parish of St. Andre Bessette in the city of Portland came under attack on Wednesday night as a march organised under the banner of Defend Democracy turned violent. All 3 front windows of the church were smashed during the attack. St. Andre Bessette Church is known locally for helping the homeless, the poor and people suffering from mental health issues and substance abuse. Those services have now been temporarily suspended. The president of the Polish Bishops' Conference has hailed the recent ruling by the country's top court that will outlaw nearly all abortions in Poland as, quote, a positive step for civilization. The comments by Archbishop Stanislaw Gadecki come amid widespread civil unrest led by pro-abortion activists who are unhappy with last month's decision by the country's constitutional tribunal. Archbishop Gadecki says he is surprised by the protest and suggests that the notion of a so-called right to abortion is, quote, an absolute and grave moral offence, which results from a confusion caused when God is removed from daily human life. Archbishop Gadecki is now calling for fasting and prayers to help hasten the end of the social unrest and to promote protection of human life. Meanwhile, the Vatican's Pontifical Academy for Life has established a new award to honour people who, quote, make a significant contribution to protect and promote human life. The Guardian of Life Award, as it will be called, will be bestowed each year during the Academy's annual General Assembly. The Pontifical Academy for Life was founded by Pope St. John Paul II in 1994 as a forum for leading figures drawn from a range of disciplines to cooperate in protecting and promoting life at every stage of human development. Finally, prayer should be the first desire of our day and something that is practiced throughout our waking hours. That was the message of Pope Francis during this week's general audience in Rome. The Holy Father explained that prayer is, quote, primarily listening and encountering God. In doing this, he said, the trials of life thus change into opportunities to grow in faith and charity. Our model of prayer, said Pope Francis, is Jesus himself. The Pope noted that the more Christ immersed himself in the needs of people, the more he felt the need to, quote, repose in the Trinitarian communion. As part of revived COVID-19 protocols, Pope Francis delivered his Wednesday audience from the library of the Vatican's Apostolic Palace and without the presence of the general public. Well, that's all for now. Do join me next time for some more news headlines from around the globe. Until then, may God bless you. Shalom.